This is how all good old controversial podcasts get started. You just start talking and you
I don't like controversial talk podcasts.
I know you don't. Why not?
I don't know. I don't care enough about certain things.
Yeah. I don't either.
Really?
Yeah. I care a lot about the Olympics. I care a lot about religion and politics and politicking in the streets. And no, I don't. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode. Man, this week has been a rough one.
Yes.
Lots of life lived this week. That's for sure. Next week, this upcoming week, we are on our way to the CrossFit Games. We didn't even know if we were going to make it out there, to be honest. How's your week been?
Well, not the best.
Yeah.
It's been rough, but now we're on the other side, and I just finished a long work week. I only work every other week, and I work 5 days when I work on the week that I work, and then I'm off for a week. So I call it my long work week. So I just got through that.
Yeah.
Also, as a plus.
Yeah, that's good.
And yeah, I mean, I'm excited to go to the CrossFit Games.
Yeah, it should be pretty good. It should be fun. So if any of you guys are headed out to the CrossFit Games this week, let us know. Hit us in the comment section below. I feel like a lot of people, our last podcast got a lot of views simply just because it had CrossFit in the name. So I look at that stuff. I want to talk a little bit about hardship and continuing down the path. I did a live earlier today with one of my clients who accompanies me on my other YouTube channel for my POTS channel. He accompanies me on my YouTube channel, and we talked today about making excuses for not doing the shit that you're supposed to be doing, or like walking towards your goals. Right? And so this week I took a break from like a bunch of stuff. You know, I took a break from like everything. I even called off of work one day because we had a very unfortunate event happen. I don't want to talk about it on camera. But it took me out bad, and I'm still dealing with it really bad. But as I tell everyone, the world is not going to stop spinning because you go through shit. And so this is something that I think is like really valuable in life that I learned at a young age, unfortunately. I think people think that I'm really like kind of insensitive because I'll say things like, even if somebody in your family dies, the world doesn't stop spinning, and that shouldn't stop you from attaining your goals. And the reason why I take that point of view is because so many things in life can detract you from your goals. It doesn't really matter what it is, big or small. And you can always use the excuse of a hardship or a bad time to pull you off track. And I think what happens is people kind of abuse the time to take off, their time off, right? And let it go for too long. So something that I tried really hard to practice this week was I knew the thing was coming. I did the things that I was supposed to up until the time. And then I gave myself about a day break after the thing happened. And now I'm back on schedule. And I don't feel like doing any of it. I don't feel like getting out of bed most mornings right now. I don't feel like going to my desk to work. I don't feel like going to the gym to work. But I know that in order to achieve my goals and to live my happiest life and the life that I dream, that no matter what gets in the way, even if it's the loss of somebody close, I need to continue doing the things that I need to continue doing. I think a lot of people think that that's really messed up.
Why would they think it's messed up?
It like,
I mean,
think,
what are you supposed to do?
yeah, that's my question. That's my question. I mean, genuinely, that is my question.
I mean, the best cure for a loss, I think, is distraction and time.
Yeah.
So you can't make time go faster
Right.
to heal, but you can distract yourself from it.
Yeah. And I guess that, man, there's this notion that so many people bring up that's like, feel your feelings, and like you have to sit with your feelings and whatever. But I'd rather let my feelings work for me.
I also don't think that you didn't sit with them.
I sat with them for a long time.
I mean, yeah, this has been a long journey.
Yeah. Yeah. But I also, like I said before, like, I don't know how productive it is always to sit with your feelings and to just idly, feel your feelings and to do that type of thing to cope. Sometimes I think that you need to let your feelings work for you. So if you're sad or you're angry or whatever it is, I tend to be on the side of anger rather than sadness because I look at life as unfair. And like, when we lose somebody or, time, it's unfair that we don't have unlimited amounts of time. I would rather let that anger perpetuate a good cycle.
Yeah.
And let it help fuel me through things. So like using the anger to push me forward in my client programs, like when I don't want to do the thing, go down and do the client programs because I'm angry. I'm going to work through them a little bit faster than normal. What are you looking at?
Car driving by.
Huh?
Car driving by.
Oh, sorry. I thought I heard something. So I thought somebody came in our house, which wouldn't be uncommon, by the way, that somebody just walks in our house. That wouldn't be weird. Where are we at?
Sitting in your feelings. You'd rather use the feelings to.
Yeah.
Which I don't. I mean, I'm not a feelings person, so.
You? Really?
I don't think I'm a good. I'm probably pretty biased, but I'm definitely a big fan of. Like, I know that loss is cured by with time, and something that makes time go faster is distraction.
Yeah, 100%.
So I would be busy. I'm a busy person.
Yeah.
And I think that that's okay.
I
don't think that, what do you mean when you feel your feelings? You're supposed to lay in bed or what? Like, I don't get it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't get it either. I think that a lot of people think like after loss, you need to like talk about it a bunch and you need to, I think a lot of people think after you go through a major loss that you need to talk about it and you need to express your emotions. You need to cry it out. You need to do all this like foo-foo shit,
Yeah, but I feel like you did that. I feel like that all happened.
I didn't do it like I didn't cry a lot, I did not have like cries. You think I cried?
I mean, yeah, you cried. What?
Yeah, like no. What I mean is like I didn't like bawl my eyes out. I was never bawling my eyes out.
I mean, why do you need to do that? I don't get it. Why do you need to do that?
I didn't say that I do.
Oh, I mean, if you feel like or it happens or something, fine. But
I'm not. This is not my view.
Oh, okay.
This is like normal people's view is that like you need to feel your feelings. You need to cry it out. You need to be like emotional and shit. Like you need to like bawl and like whatever. That's what people tell you to do. That's what therapists tell you to do. They tell you to like feel your emotions, feel your feelings, express it. You know what I mean? But I think that looks so different for everybody.
Yeah.
Like for me, it's like, okay, I got to get back to work. Like I got to go do something. I got to get distracted. I got to whatever. And some people would call that toxic or toxic masculinity because I'm not sitting there bawling my eyes out over like somebody dying.
I mean, I wouldn't do that.
I didn't say that you would.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think that that's toxic.
I didn't say you did.
Okay.
Why do you keep bringing it back to you?
I don't know. I'm not saying you said I did. I'm just,
okay.
I don't get who would say that. I don't understand who would say that.
That's like the like average person's thought process is that like it's toxic to not like cry out your feelings or like to feel your emotions deeply and stuff. Like that's what the whole culture kind of tells people.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think you need to. I think you can deal with it in whatever way you want to, as long as it's healthy.
But that's right there is my point. Right there is my point. So what's healthy? How do you dictate that?
I mean, things that would be unhealthy are like drugs, alcohol. Like, that's what I mean. You know?
Yeah, sure.
Like, I mean, I think immersing yourself into work and, you know,
Can you point that mic towards you more?
distracting yourself with work and like, I think that that's perfectly healthy to heal from loss.
Yeah, you're not the average person.
Oh,
It's not what people think. So it's not what most people would say. Yeah, I also think
Tell us in the comments if you're one of those people who don't think that that's healthy.
yeah.
I need to try to understand that.
Also, it's like I think that the average person too would say that like men need to cry a bunch, you know, when they feel like it's toxic to tell guys not to cry.
Oh.
Like guys should cry is what everybody thinks, right?
Okay.
And then it's toxic to hold in your tears and to not feel it. And so like I'm not going to sit here and say that I didn't cry, cuz I definitely cried, but I didn't like weep. You get what I'm saying? Like I wasn't like freaking whining and like, you know, like a deep cry every single time. Like I held back my tears more than I let out. Even as I was crying, like I was holding back tears the whole time. And I think what, at least my view on men crying, and this is what I try to practice, is that it's not weak to cry in front of people, but there's also an appropriate and inappropriate amount and time to do it, right?
Yeah.
Like you, Rachel, my mom were all around when the thing happened, and I held back so many tears because you guys were around. It's not because I like would feel weak crying in front of you guys, but it's because you're all crying, and I felt like I needed to be somewhat of a rock as much as I could be for everybody to take the burden from everyone else. You get what I'm saying?
Sure, but also I feel like I mean obviously everybody in the scenario is affected, but I feel like you are the main character affected.
Yeah, but
You know?
I mean, yeah, but that could be true in any aspect when it comes to feeling or crying or like loss or whatever. But I think that it's like my duty, right, as a guy to still be the rock no matter what. Like whether it's my girlfriend or my ex who is here or my mother, it's like I do feel that I'm able to cry and I can express emotion, like cry a little bit, but I can't be freaking like moaning like a whale.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
guess
Like it can't be like wailing like a
I'd
whale.
be like, what is happening? if
Yeah,
you were
exactly.
wailing?
Like I have to be more of a rock, and I can do that stuff on my own or in the
Yeah.
presence of like other men, but I'm not going to do it in front of people who like take leadership from me, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Or expect me to be a rock or to be strong because I feel it's my duty, and especially in front of my kids too. I'm not going to wail around like a whale in front of them either, because they need to know that no matter how hard or how tough times get, they can rely on me.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
I kind of want to hear it. The wailing.
The wailing?
Yeah.
Well, you'll never hear it. So
I knew you were going to say that.
yeah, I mean, I have a hard time even letting out the amount of tears that I let out in front of you.
Yeah.
You know, in general, or like in front of you guys in general. A lot of people would say that that's toxic. That's toxic
Really?
masculinity. Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe I don't understand the concept.
There's no concept.
Oh, okay.
Toxic masculinity, just by society standards, is just like allowing guys to be pussies because they're allowed to be pussies, instead of like holding a masculine frame. And like, you can be a pussy in front of your other guy friends, but they want you to be a pussy in front of everybody, you know? And like, I don't want to be a pussy in front of a woman or my girlfriend, my mom, my ex, my girls who are friends. I don't want to be a pussy in front of you guys because I'm supposed to be the masculine figure. Like, I want to be there as a rock for people to lean on, even if that means that I get to absorb more inner turmoil.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I'm built for. I'm made for that. You know, that's my view, at least. But people call that toxic masculinity.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, you can continue to be toxically masculine.
Okay, thanks. It's important to like note though in this podcast that there for sure is a time and place where you lean on your wife or your girlfriend. Like, you don't always have to not express emotions and not cry a little bit. Like,
I mean, but also your partner should know too, you know, if there's...
yeah. I think though that as a guy, like, you earn the right to cry in front of somebody. You don't like if you're new in a relationship and you just start crying in front of
that's weird.
a girl, that's weird.
That's really
like
weird.
You earn the right to cry. You build a rapport basically, and like when times get really rough, like I've never really cried in front of you except for that.
Yeah.
That's like the only time. You know?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there'd be any other reason to cry besides...
Oh God,
that.
don't even get me started. Don't get me started. Because I just know some guys that would just be crying. Because this is, I just know some guys that just be crying and, oh my God, and they wonder why they can't hold a girlfriend. They wonder why they can't hold a relationship down. It's crazy. Pussy.
I mean, I feel like the death of loved ones, like, is perfectly acceptable, but I'm not really sure what else you would cry about.
I mean, it's acceptable to cry when somebody you love dies.
Yeah.
In front of your wife or your girlfriend or whoever, but not like a lot.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
I get it. I get it.
In my opinion, and this is my opinion.
I'm
too.
saying that's the time.
Yeah,
I don't know what else you would cry about, to
well,
be honest.
I know dudes that cry in front of their girlfriend over financial troubles. I know guys that cry in front of their girlfriends because of their insecurities. I know guys that cry in front of and it's just like, well, dude, no shit she doesn't respect you. No shit that she acts super masculine and because you're the feminine one in the relationship. So no wonder she wears the pants. No wonder she chooses where you guys go out to eat, and even though she doesn't know where she wants to eat. No wonder all these issues, It's just like, yeah, it's crazy. I don't know. They want men to be pussy. Let's move on.
Okay.
So anyway, we had a hard week.
Yeah, I think you can deduce what went down here.
Yeah. We had a tough time this week. It was bad, dude. I mean,
yeah, definitely don't want to have to do that again.
Yeah.
But
we will have to do it again.
Probably will soon. Yeah. Unfortunately.
I'm just kidding.
Oh my God, I thought that was real.
No. It's kind of effed up because I am deeply sad.
Yes, we are both very deeply sad.
Yeah,
it's been a very weird couple of days.
Yeah.
But I truly think now we're getting in the swing of things now, and go to Texas on Wednesday and be very, very distracted.
And like I said, like from the events that happened, I'm deeply sad. I haven't been this sad since my grandpa died. But although I'm very sad and we just lost someone incredibly important to me, the world's not going to stop turning. It's not going to stop spinning. And it can't deter me. It can't stop me from the things that I need to do. There are people that rely on me. I rely on me. People rely for me to keep them safe. People to provide. I can't be deterred. I can feel my feelings, but ultimately what needs to be done still needs to be done.
Yeah.
And I think that that's something that's really lost in culture today. The fact that like you need to work no matter what. You need to keep going. Like life just keeps going on. I got in trouble on social media this week.
You did?
Yeah.
Maybe because you were
emotional. Yeah, which is something that I really tell guys not to do, but I got caught up this week for sure. I don't know how, but here's my thing. I don't know how wrong I actually am. Like, it's still really not clear. So she's not interested in this. And to be honest with you, I'm not super interested in hashing out details in this video over this. But I ended up posting about that female boxer woman.
Yeah.
That got a bunch of flack, and I did it out of emotion. I was in a poor state. I'm going to hold the L. I don't really care. And it turns out that I was wrong about the circumstances of the woman. However, I don't know if I'm wrong about the circumstances of the woman. It's so confusing. And this is like a problem that I have, like such a problem that I have with the media and social media and the powers that be, is language and how much they play with language. So I read an article about this chick, and it said that she was assigned female at birth. And to me, that's just so confusing because if she's born a female, why not just say born a female?
Right.
If she's born intersex, why not just say born intersex? And then we talk about the other issues that come with that or whatever. I just don't get it. I don't understand why the language has to be played with so much. And the reason why it pisses me off is because I could be wrong. And I'm willing to hold the L on that if I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Awesome. Put in the comment section below, flame me, whatever, if I'm wrong. But the reason why it bothers me so much is because the media uses language to manipulate. Like they weaponize it so much. And a lot of people want to pretend like they don't. And they're just acting ignorant. And this isn't even just like a leftist side. This is not a right side or far right side. This is just a media issue. And the powers that be issue is that they just manipulate language to confuse people, to like do what happened to me.
Yeah.
Get me fired up and then get me talking about something that I wasn't super educated on. Now I have my opinions on the testosterone levels and all this stuff for sure, but I wasn't educated on the history of this girl, how she was born and all this stuff. And I'm admitting it. What?
I saw at least 2 other people on social media that I know that had posted about it too, and then publicly apologized for whatever they like reposted.
Really?
Because of not knowing like the actual history. And one of them I was completely and utterly shocked by.
Really?
Yes.
Who was it?
I'll tell you off camera, but
okay. Hold on one second.
But
you were shocked by them apologizing?
Yeah, like taking ownership of like reposting whatever like thing was saying, like,
really
male boxing, whatever,
Huh.
all
Wow.
that stuff was going around.
Huh.
Yeah, I'll tell you after. I'll tell you after who it was.
Are you still going?
No.
Oh, what I will say is that I do have a problem with transgender, transitioned male to female playing in women's sports.
Yeah, for sure.
I have 100% issue with that. If I was wrong about this specific case, like I said, I'll hold the L. I'll carry it with me forever. But I do have an issue with that, especially when it comes to combat sports, because combat sports are deadly, quite frankly. And somebody who like messaged me in the DMs said that girl was being a baby. She didn't even get knocked out. If this is your argument or your line of logic that it's not that big of a deal because the chick didn't get knocked out, like, you have a screw loose, or you just really don't understand what it takes to knock somebody out or how getting punched in the face feels. You could have the hardest punch of your life hit you in the front of your forehead and not get knocked out, and it's probably going to hurt worse than if you would have got knocked out. Because you have to deal with it.
Right.
You're not out. You have to deal with that immediate pain and then probably the headache or migraine to come after that. Most of these people have never been punched in the face or punched in general, and that's why they are so like up in arms about it, because they're like it wouldn't even hurt that bad. It's not that
Every
bad.
single one of those people who is saying that has never been punched.
Yeah, which is
Never.
crazy. I've been punched in the face.
I've never been punched in the face, and I hold no opinion on it whatsoever. So.
I've been punched by people smaller than me, my son even. I've been punched by people bigger than me by accident. They both hurt really bad.
Yeah.
It just hurts. Getting punched in the face doesn't feel good no matter who it comes from.
Yeah.
And knocking somebody out usually isn't the factor of like how hard the person is punching. Like that obviously adds to it.
Yeah, so you're saying that you cannot use the argument saying, "Oh, she's a baby. She didn't even get knocked out." That it doesn't matter
because people get knocked out for way less.
Yeah,
like you see in fights a lot of, like, not a lot, but you see in fights people will like scrape the head of somebody with a kick, out, lights out cold. Well, they didn't get hit that hard, but they got knocked out. So are they a baby for getting knocked out by getting scraped in the head? No, that's such a nonsensical argument. It doesn't even make sense. But anyway, I got in trouble. Main thing here. I have an issue with trans going into different classes. I have an issue with men just wanting to compete in women's sports. I think there's a reason why you don't have the complaint of women trying to get into male divisions, because it would be totally fair for guys to compete with a woman who came into our division, because we'd still smoke you, but not the other way around. And so, yeah, I think that people having this talk about like inclusivity in sports or whatever, that's what weight classes do. That's what gender classes do. That's what, even like if you would do in powerlifting, Wilks divisions do. Like if you all have a certain Wilks score or whatever, you guys can all compete in the same division. That's inclusivity of sport. That's really what inclusivity is. Inclusivity is not saying, hey, you transition from woman to male or male to female and now you can compete in the other sex. That's not inclusivity. Yeah. Inclusivity is having divisions for everything. Yeah. And that's probably how it should be. I even think that with trans people. I think that there should be divisions for them.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, I think it'd be great, because then it's consenting adults competing against each other. Exactly. But what's not fair is when people are not consenting to the circumstances. That's not fair. There's also this argument. I have to say this. Sorry, I have to go off on this real quick. I saw somebody say that sports from young age, like 5, all the way up through high school, are just for socialization and for fun. And then when you get to college and you get to the professional sports leagues, that's when it actually matters. Hey, dummy, how do you think you get into college sports or professional sports, you idiot? And these people that are talking about like, they're not stealing scholarships from young girls or whatever. Hey, mother effer. My entire career of being an athletic, like a higher level athletic trainer, has been mostly females. It happens. And guess what? The reason why it pisses me off so much is because women, on average, work harder than men do in the gym to achieve certain statuses or scholarships or whatever in sport, because they have to. They have to. Guys have a propensity towards athletics. Women don't have the same natural ability most times. They have to work very hard. That's why it freaking pisses me off so much that you could just let somebody join another division that they're not supposed to be in.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm done.
I think my biggest problem with it is, like, obviously I have a problem with that too. Having done like a weightlifting meet in which it was females in a certain weight class, like, I mean, you just don't stand a chance against, a male or, a trans male, or I don't know how you say it, a male transitioning to a female, if they still have male hormones and male like features and stuff like that. You just like don't. Well, there's no way.
This is also where the science and the people are just not being honest, not intellectually honest. So even if a male goes on hormones like estrogen and like other female hormones to like make the transition, if they get their testes cut off, whatever, all this stuff, that doesn't do anything to their bone structure. It doesn't do anything to their muscular structure, at least not immediately. And there's stuff like satellite cells that you have to think about. There's a whole bunch of things that a man over the period of his entire life, especially after he goes through puberty, he has advantages for the long haul, right? So like the broadness of your shoulders after you go through puberty, how tall you become, your limb length, all this stuff adds up. And all this stuff does create advantages in sport. Absolutely. There are the exception to the rule for women that can beat men in any sport. There's always going to be the exception, but that's not the majority.
For sure.
That's the problem. And the other part that really pisses me off about the scholarship thing, I just have to say real quick, is that in a lot of sports now, you guys don't know this because you don't involve yourself in sports. A lot of scouting happens in middle school. People are being watched from 6th grade up until their senior year. Baseball recruiters are giving people verbal agreements. It's illegal, but they're giving people verbal agreements to come to their school.
Yeah. I'm sure that happens in football too.
It happens in every sport.
Yeah.
Just baseball is the one that I'm most familiar with in that case, in that instance,
Yeah.
right? But, and then, yeah. So anyway, whatever. So I just, it's clown world.
No, I was going to say my biggest problem, even though like obviously.
Oh, you weren't done, sorry.
I was thinking about it. Like I was just giving my like thoughts of, since I've, competed in a weightlifting meet, how I would feel about that, whatever. So yes, obviously I don't agree with that, but the main problem is the consenting thing.
Yeah.
That's my main issue is
Yep.
the female competitors don't get a choice. That's why I think for sure a separate division or some kind of a separate class or division or whatever, where everyone is in agreement with who's competing against too.
Guess
Makes
what?
way more sense than
But guess what?
throwing people who don't agree with it.
Guess what? Guess where this is happening? This is actually happening with steroids. So I think that we could all agree that people who are on steroids competing in tested federations is unfair, right?
Yeah, I mean,
Okay, so now what they have done is they've gotten funding together to do a steroid Olympics. So people who are on all the gear that they can have, that they want, competing together. Why don't you just do that? Yeah,
it would be very awesome to watch.
That would be that's like saying that it's not inclusive to allow people who use steroids because that's what they like to compete with people who are natty. Dude, it's not. So this person also told me that the person that hit me up in the DM, she was like, it would be like saying that it's unfair for white people to compete against black people in sports because black people are more athletic. And I was like, yeah, it is unfair because black people are more athletic than white people. But they're consenting.
Yeah,
they're consenting adults, So that's the whole point, is that people should consent to compete with each other. I don't care if a man and a woman want to fight each other in a ring, as long as all parties are consenting. I don't think it's right. I think the guy should feel really shitty about himself if he wins. He should feel shitty about himself if he loses too. But at least they consented, right? At least they consented to it.
Yeah.
So anyway, and then the last thing that I think to touch on is the Last Supper thing. That's the last thing I want to touch on, and then we can get out of here. I also got in trouble for this Last Supper thing. And so I posted...
You got in trouble?
Not in trouble. Somebody reached out to me over it.
Yeah.
I got reached out to by somebody who I'm guessing is a liberal, which is fine, about I posted the picture of the Last Supper thing at the Olympics, and I did like the SpongeBob letters where it's like capital, lowercase, making fun of whatever. And I said, there's no war on Christianity. A lot of you guys hate the fact that I posted a podcast on the war on Christianity, right? But then the Olympics does this thing. And so anyway, this person messaged me and said, this is the feast of Dionysus. And so I took the liberty for myself to try to have a civil discourse and say, did they publicly announce this? And she goes, did they publicly announce that it was the Last Supper? And I go, I'm just asking a genuine question, because I wasn't trying to, I don't want to argue over social media with people. Like how pathetic,
Yeah.
And so she goes, no. This is the line of thinking that we're dealing with people nowadays, is that you're going to oppose a claim that somebody, and by the way, I didn't make a claim. I made an assumption and I posted something. I didn't say for certain I guess you could say that I was alluding to the fact that I thought it was the Last Supper. But this is the line of thinking that we're dealing with, is that you're going to oppose somebody else's supposed wrong viewpoint with a viewpoint of yours that is also not verified.
Yeah, it's
like you have broken all the rules of logic for the most part in that confrontation.
It's getting or calling you out for an opinion you have about something because it doesn't match that opinion.
Their opinion.
Yes. It does not match the person who's calling you out's opinion.
Yeah.
So you had an opinion that it was the Last Supper. She had an opinion that it was the Feast of Dionysus or whatever. But neither of you know what it actually was.
Wait, hold on. So it now has come out that the person who played Jesus, right, the woman who played Jesus, or the man, whatever it is. I'm confused with all these freaking pronouns and shit, right? Because I live in the real world where this stuff doesn't actually like happen, where people don't actually talk about their pronouns, right? I live in the real world. Which, by the way, I don't care if you're trans or anything like that. I could give a shit. Do whatever you want. This person literally said that they are the gay Jesus.
Yeah, well, I know. Obviously.
So we're not. It's not the Last Supper.
Yeah. So obviously,
was Jesus at the Feast of Dionysus? I'm confused.
Yeah. So
was he there?
But that's not my point.
I know what your point is.
My point is, why is a certain group of people expecting that the rest of the world shares the same opinions, and then gets mad if people don't share their opinions? That's crazy to me.
Yeah, it's like if you don't fall in line with the group think, the thing that is virtuous and that is proper because society this is what everybody's telling you that you need to believe in, like you get offended that people have other opinions. If you don't see what's wrong with that line of thinking, you have officially fallen into Marxism programming. And you guys are the ones who say that everyone else is a Nazi and Marxist. It's crazy. I don't even have a political affiliation, and I can see this. I could give a shit. I'm crazy. I think the Illuminati's real. So I don't fall into Republican, Democrat. I would say, if anything, I'd be centrist, or what is it called? Libertarian, maybe. I just want the government to leave me the hell alone.
Right.
I don't give a shit about any of this bullshit. Pronouns, Trump, Biden, freedom of speech or whatever. I just want to do whatever I want to do. I don't give a shit about your rules.
Yeah.
I don't care. And it's just crazy that you can't hold a different opinion. Dude, I have so many liberal opinions, it's not even funny.
Right.
And I have so many conservative opinions probably too. It's not even funny. But like, truth is factual that the left plays these weird games about language that you're allowed to say or speak. Like, you can't say retarded. You can't say like trans or whatever. But the right too then thinks that everyone's gay and that everyone is trying to turn people into trans people. They think that, I mean, it's just crazy. Yeah, it's nuts.
Crazy. It's crazy. And
everyone's gay.
I think, like, my problem with it is just purely like, you were expressing something that you interpreted as, putting Christianity down, right?
Mm-hmm.
And whatever, even maybe it turns out to be true, maybe it doesn't turn out to be true. It doesn't really matter if you're interpreting something. And it's not even like you said anything offensive. It was literally, and there's no war on Christianity,
And
like,
by the way,
I don't understand what there is to argue about with that, though.
Yeah. And by the way, my point is not that I think it's wrong that they did that or whatever it is. I have my opinions on what I think is going on with it. And I think that the Olympics is a pagan ritual. Like, I think so many things, like, I'm crazy. People don't understand this. Like, I'm literally conspiracy minded. You know what I mean? But my point is that there's social programming in society. There's social programming, and it's all against Christianity. You can't say shit about anything else, any other religion. That's my whole point. Mm-hmm. And so, even so much so that if you want to stand up for Christianity in a way, you get ostracized for it. Mm-hmm. Why?
Yeah.
Because it doesn't share the opinion of everyone else. It's so crazy. It's whack. What? Christians are privileged and it's a white religion or whatever? You guys are wrong. You're wrong. It's not a white religion. It's not a privileged religion. Why do you think that we're the only people that you can attack so openly? And to be real with you too, a lot of Christians are pussy. They won't say anything. Like they won't do anything. They don't say anything. They're not up in arms. They're not like overtly vocal about what their beliefs are or like how certain things are offensive, you know, because of this, because too many men are scared of getting backlash.
Yeah, it was a
week, dude.
It was a week.
Is that what you were going to say?
I was going to say it was a strange interaction.
Very strange interaction. And what's weird is that the ideologies have a way of splitting people up that like are friendly with each other.
Yeah.
And that know each other. That's the weirdest thing. Like we know each other. Like why not that well, number one. So why do you feel comfortable enough to come at me that way? You don't know a lot about me, but at a surface level, like we at least know each other. We've spent time around each other. So why wouldn't you just approach me like a normal person?
Yeah.
And just say, hey, do you think that this could be a depiction of the Feast of Dionysus?
Yeah.
Or whatever. Like you can do it in so many nicer ways.
So many different ways.
You know, and like that's the thing is that we've lost all touch with treating each other like humans and treating each other like people. That we think
just like
that
you're on one side or the other.
Exactly. That we think that just because you have a separate opinion from what mine is and what the group think and my group is, that you're the enemy. What?
Yeah.
That's weird.
And I also just think that you are free to interpret it the way you want, and so is she.
Yeah.
Like she's free to think that that's what it is.
Right.
And doesn't have to push her opinion on you or her belief on you.
I know, right? And so literally my only response was, okay, you cannot change stupid, you know? And like, you can't fight with stupid. Like one thing that I'm really trying hard to do is that if somebody doesn't have a logical argument or a logical basis for the opinion that they have, don't even argue with it. Like, don't even try, because it's just going to drive me more crazy than it will that person. You know, it just will, you know? I don't want to waste energy or time on shit like that I don't need to, you know?
Yeah.
So if it's a worthwhile conversation, sure. But if I can already sense hostility from the person for no reason, it's like, it's not worth it.
I mean, this is the thing though, is like, no matter, I mean, obviously being on the internet and like posting things and your opinions and beliefs and stuff, you're gonna
get fired.
Yeah. You're gonna get people who are like that.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
That's
and that's fine. I'm okay. I'm good. It doesn't like piss me off. It doesn't get me like.
It's taken me a hot minute to accept that. I will say, as of recently, I have felt more comfortable with it. But at first, I was like, "Oh my god,
yeah,
all these people are like gonna have this to say and that to say and whatever."
Yeah.
But
what makes you more comfortable with it now?
I just I don't know. Like I've just really lately, like as I get older, you know,
Almost 40.
I am not. I am not.
I said that to her last night. I go, it's so crazy. You're almost 40.
Not
she
almost
freaked
40. I am 35.
Okay, as you
but
get older.
I feel like the deeper in my 30s I get, the more I realize that two things. One, and this is just a broad, it kind of ties into the internet people, right? That because I had been struggling with like not like seeing my friends as much anymore and all this stuff, but like those friends that are like my lifelong friends are always going to be there, no matter like what stages we're in. We're always going to be like close, no matter if we haven't talked for a long time or seen each other for a long time.
Yeah.
And then number two, that really my best friend is you. And that's the most important, you know, you and the kids are like the most important circle that I need, and that's who I should be spending all my time and all my energy towards.
Yeah.
So if, plans don't work out, I've gotten better at like accepting like, okay, this is just like where we are with things. Not saying that you should like give up on your friendship and stuff, but like just saying like, I value our relationship a lot more. And same goes for like people, acquaintances or old friends on the internet. If people are doing things like that, it's just like, whatever, like, what do I need? You know what I mean? Like, I'm good. I have, a great relationship. I have amazing kids, and I have like a slew of friends that I've known my entire life. Like, what else would I need? So I've gotten more comfortable with this internet thing.
Yeah. Well, it's also,
I don't know. Does that make sense?
Yeah, 100%. Like, I think that this is a very feminine trait, is that you guys care a lot about what the public is going to think, or like even like acquaintances, because you guys look at everybody as friends, not just acquaintances, So you look at people like who you think to be your friends, but you never really hung out with outside of the activity that you guys did together as like your actual friends. And what are they going to think, or what are they going to say? You know what I mean? And like, I think it's fine, but you can't hold back what you do or what you feel or the things that you're going to do based on like the opinion of somebody else that might be offended by something, right? Or like whatever. And regardless, like you said about your friends, that they're going to be there no matter what, right? Like no matter if your plans fall through or whatever. The same thing is true about your good friends and your best friends and the people that you probably want for the remainder of your life, is that no matter what opinion you hold, no matter the things that you say, unless you're like wildly racist out of nowhere, something like that, you know what I mean? Like there's obvious caveats here. Don't take my words and twist them. Whatever opinions you hold, political standing, religious view, whatever, blah, 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 your best friends are going to be your best friends regardless. You don't have to agree. You can have dialogue if you guys so choose, or you can just never talk about it ever. Yeah. And you guys are just always going to be friends. Yeah. That's just how life goes, And so like one thing that because I struggled like being super outward with the things that I say too on the internet. But one thing that I came to the realization of super quick is that I have certain ethics and values in my life, right? And even like with you, with relationships, right? And if me expressing and saying my values and ethics and morals is offensive to anybody, or like you don't like it, or if you don't want to be my girlfriend because of it, or if my friends don't want to be my friends because of it or whatever, it's probably not the right relationships that I want to have anyway. Right. It's probably because I want to share morals, ethics, values, even hobbies and stuff with like-minded people. Yeah, I agree. And that's not to say that like I want to be in an echo chamber, but it's like I say all the time, if my friends have a girlfriend and they're not yet married, I want them to act like they're married. I don't want them to act like they're single, because because I don't want to be around my friends cheating on their girlfriends or whatever, Yeah. The same idea. Yeah. Get it? Yep. Got it? Good. All right, cool. I think that's it for today. I got to get this, of course, every sign to just stop recording the podcast. Yes. All right, guys. Hey, goodbye. Yeah, now this camera just freaking stopped recording.
Why did it stop?
Go ahead and stop. Man, the card is full. Oh. Okay. All right. Well, anyway, thanks so much for watching, guys. Appreciate you in this one. I don't know. This is kind of a train wreck of an episode, but that's all right. Thumbs up if you did like the video. If you like the podcast, rate 5 stars or whatever on Spotify. I don't know what that does. If you're new here, subscribe, and we'll talk to you guys in the next one. Peace out. Goodbye.
You gotta look at that stuff, babe.